Well, our prep here in Pittsburgh week continues, getting you ready for the Orange visit to the Panthers coming up on Saturday. Brian Higgins across town in the football wing is Josh Black. As always, good to see you, my friend. And Josh, what was this last week like? We talked so much up to the lead up to the season, but setting the football aside, I guess, for a second, how'd the whole trip go and the travel and all this stuff we've been worried about and talking about for a month?
Yeah, so traveling has definitely been an experience that went a lot better than I expected, to be honest. Last week we had 3 COVID tests, all spaced out accordingly. And, going to North Carolina, safety was our number one priority. We made sure that our safety was always, was the main focus. Wherever we went, masks were always on, staying 6 feet away from people we didn't know. You know, just talking around the guys, masks on, and even being on the field during the game, our helmets have to be on, or we have to have a mask on, except when we're drinking water and all that. And so it was a little bit of a distraction before the game, just kind of thinking about everybody else on the field. You're sharing pregame, getting your warm up in. You'll be like, oh man, there's the other team's managers over there. I gotta stay away. Be really cautious of your surroundings. But if you have your mask on, take social distancing into account, you really have no problems. But it was definitely went way smoother though than I imagined.
Hey, we know you guys raised issues as a group a month ago for things like that. I'd say after you've gone through it all, and it's not going to be normal this year, but did you feel comfortable, I guess, with how it all went and how it played out to sort of keep doing things this way?
Oh yeah, I felt really comfortable, very safe with everything, even at the hotel, even around people I didn't know personally, just casual people at the hotel. I felt safe. They had their masks on also. We had ours on. We stayed the distance, and I never felt like I was in any type of predicament where I felt like I was unsafe during this setting.
No, that's good to hear because you just never know how these things are going to go when you get out of your own little area and head on the road. And hopefully that's still the case this week in Pittsburgh. The other thing, obviously, that's strange about what's going on is you played football and will be here this week and next week and for the foreseeable future in front of no fans. I mean, there was a few, people in the stadium, workers and whatnot, but nobody's out there cheering for the game, save for the canned crowd noise. How was that? How different was that on the field?
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit different because some guys on the team, or just football in general, they feed off the audience. They feed off of playing in front of people. Personally, I'm not one of those people. I'm just so focused on the man across from me that I always just kind of blank everything out. I kind of just have like a pair of invisible blinders on. Like I'm just so pinpoint focused. So I don't really pay attention to the fan noise and the audience all that much. And like, let's say regular games last year. And, just coming out for pregame though, and coming out for stretches, like when the environment isn't such a battle state yet, like it is like right before the game running on the field, it was definitely different not seeing literally anybody in the stands. It was like, oh wow, like we're literally just us versus them. Like it was one of those things where you have to experience it to really get the full effect. But yeah, after the first play of the game, I shut everything out, and I didn't really notice like how I never noticed, to be honest.
It was funny for us, Josh, saying because we did the radio broadcast back here in Syracuse, but we had the feeds coming our way, and pregame, like you said, we're watching you guys warm up, and we got a little view of what's going on, and then I think they must have been working it out. They turned on the fake crowd noise for the first time, but it was like an hour and a half before kickoff. It's like, that doesn't sound right. But during the game, I guess it sort of fit in a little bit.
Yeah, hearing the fake crowd noise, it actually sounded really authentic and real. It's like, oh wow, it almost sounds like we're playing in front of a crowd, but you just know there's not a crowd there, so it kind of throws you off a bit. But it definitely fit in the atmosphere, so it wasn't crazy offsetting.
All right, let's talk the on the field stuff. We've talked to a bunch of you guys in the lead up here about the 3-3-5 and the changes, and we saw certainly yourself, Kingsley, McKinley, Bear out there. It's a little different working up there with the three-man front, and all of you guys made some big plays during the game. How do you think you guys handled your first time out in the new defense?
So definitely there's some tweaks and adjustments we need to make. I mean, just as a whole defense for sure. But as a defensive line, we executed our job well, and there's things we obviously need to improve on. There's things we always need to improve on for sure. And I felt like we played very smooth. We played confident for sure. and we did our job, and we did a great job at stopping the run. But it's all about finishing. In my opinion, we didn't finish, and that's why we gave up the points at the end of the game. We just left some meat on the bone right there for sure. And we didn't make enough plays at the end. We started off strong, and then slowly start to peter out, and really need to finish next time for sure. And that's the main problem that I saw with us playing last week.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, Josh. I mean, the first, 40 minutes of the game up until maybe the drive they started late in the third quarter. I mean, once you got past that first drive, you guys were outstanding. You say finishing, but can you put your finger on what do you think changed down the stretch of the game when they got you there for those last three scores?
To be honest, by the end of the game, I just think we weren't as mentally sharp as we were in the beginning of the game. We had some busted plays here and there. I mean, yeah, the opposite team is always gonna make plays. I mean, they're football players also. Defense is gonna make plays. The offense is gonna make plays for sure. You just gotta line back up and play football. But there's some plays mentally maybe we weren't in the right fits, wrong assignments here and there for sure, and that ended up biting us in the butt. And like I was saying, that a mental focus, I don't think we had as a cohesive unit. We didn't have that mental focus at the end of the game.
All right, tell me about Pittsburgh. This is a rivalry. It goes back to 1955, played literally every year. Last three games are 17 total points. The game before that was 76-61 in a game that's never been seen before. Last time you guys were there, it's the wild game that goes to overtime, and there's rain and lightning and just craziness going on. What is it about this series that's so interesting for you guys to take part in?
It's just such a traditionally tough matchup for sure. A lot of effort coming out of both teams. Pitt, hard-nosed team. They play old school football. They run the ball at you, set up the play action. They throw it for sure. And that's what they pride themselves on. They're really hard, give great effort, great team, offensive line. Filled with veterans. Have a great quarterback who'll hurt you in the air and on his feet. We got to keep the speed in front of us for sure. And it's one of those games you always look forward to. You mark it on your calendar every year. It's like, oh man, we're going against Pitt. We got to have a great practice, great focus. We got to be more physical than they are because they're known as that physical team. They're gonna finish after the whistle, and we have to play just like them for sure.
How weird is it? You mentioned you mark the calendar. Usually this isn't marked on the calendar until the middle of October at the earliest, and usually later in the year. And obviously things got turned upside down this year. How weird is it that this is game 2 of the season for you?
Yeah, it's definitely really weird because like the past couple of years, like you said, it's usually really cold. The weather is bad when we play them over there. And now we're playing in the beginning of the year. It's like, oh man, usually we're really beaten up by that time, going through like half the season or even 3/4 of the season by then. And, we're playing them when we're relatively fresh right now too. So, we just got to keep up the intensity and physicality in practice to compete with them.
All right, Josh, let's wrap up with this. We got a new little game we're playing with people this year. It's our social distancing game. We can't be near each other. So it's not the old 3 yards in a cloud of dust. This is 2 yards.
Okay.
A cloud of questions. I'm going to fire questions at you. We're going rapid fire. I got a minute on the clock. Here we go. All right. During quarantine, we know you're a workout guy. What's the strangest workout you did to get it done during quarantine?
To be honest, I filled up some gallons of water, put them in my backpack. I was doing squats, push-ups, all that stuff. I tried to find a way to do pull-ups, but that really didn't work. And I ended up doing tricep dips on 2 chairs that are really unstable. So that's that right there.
There you go. The chair is probably broke under you doing that. All right.
Yeah.
People didn't get out a lot during quarantine. How many places do you think you went more than once?
To be honest, only the grocery store. That's about it.
That is generally the correct answer to that question. What was your best excuse to get out of the house?
The weather was nice, and I needed to work on some back flips and front flips and all that good stuff.
Hey, we know who was watching that. It might have been some guy named Dwayne Johnson. All right. Didn't you shower every day?
I showered sometimes 3 times a day because I was just so bored. I had to find something to do.
All right. Last thing, 5-second description of the Tiger King.
The Tiger King, 5 seconds. Very, very unpredictable. Carol Baskin. Yeah, that's about it for me.
She's somehow on Dancing with the Stars right now.
Yeah,
so I guess
I saw that. That's one of those interesting things going on right now.
All right, Josh, man, you survived our our quarantine quiz there. Good job, man.
I appreciate it. Until next time.
All right. We'll see you out there at Pittsburgh this week. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Catch you.